What up, beautiful people? My name is Bonankau.
And you're speaking to Dudu Etsankau, aka you already know by now. So yeah, today we're gonna talk about family and networking, right? So
Yeah.
I think those are like very important topics in a person's life because they play also a big role in how far you get in life and your level of success or your level of mindset. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's important, guys. Also, family has a very big influence on us, the decisions we choose, like who you want to become, like especially in terms of career. Like your
yeah,
family can shape your career from primary all the way to high school and everything. So it's also important to be able to withstand that pressure from family that tells you to do something you don't really want to do. Like, sometimes people do like follow a career or whatever that maybe their parents or their uncle told them, don't do this is the safest route. If you go this way, you'll be successful. But they're not happy and they're not fulfilled. So it's important to build it, be able to build that resistance.
yeah. So because yeah, you do get people. I mean, you get family a lot, especially our parents who, and they're not obviously it's not coming from a bad place when your mom or your dad or your uncle or granny specifically tells you maybe go study something like this because maybe they might know somebody who's successful in that specific field. That's why they're saying go do that. But like Wanang said, it's you shouldn't be forced into something that you don't want. Like you shouldn't go. You know how many people you know went to go study like engineering or medicine or law or whatever because their parents told them to do it. Yes, those are like very nice, high paying careers, but what we're trying to emphasize is don't go and do something you don't want because this is your life at the end of the day. You gotta be able to take decisions that are going to impact you in a positive way also. So
Yeah.
and not to say like and people also always like misunderstand this thing like not to say that you don't love your parents or you don't love your family or you don't think their advice is valid when you chase your specific dream because I remember with us also my mom wanted us to study law and I think law also, right?
Yeah, she has obviously go to
She's
school,
yeah,
follow, the whole thing of it starts going to trick on some guys get the
to
good
next year.
results because it also like life is also crazy because from matric some people fail, some people pass, and some people do pass, but they don't pass with enough marks to go to university or to do a certain
Bachelor,
degree.
yeah,
So that pressure is also a lot from us as young people that we have to carry in terms of making our career choice. So
yeah,
you have to kind of identify what it is that you love to do, what it is that you want to do. Sometimes also some people is also they've chosen a certain career, even though they don't love it, they have to stick it out, but they didn't follow what they really wanted. So
yeah.
if you're young and if you still got time, it's like as a young person, do things, go out there, be out there, follow your dreams, bro.
Meet people, network. But going back to the whole thing of family, yeah, sometimes also people try and discredit you or try and, discourage you from doing something. Like you say, obviously, maybe you want to study to be a graphic designer or whatever, and maybe someone in your family will be like, graphic designer, no, that thing doesn't have money or what, someone will make people sometimes don't let comments like that push you away from what you can be. I mean, today we live in a very digital era and social media. Dude, there's young people who don't need to go to university after high school. That's
Yeah.
where we live now in that type of era where people are making money on TikTok, people are making money on, social media
Social media is
platforms.
just
Like
giving people
they
platforms.
found their thing. Like somebody you could, for example, you could wanna be a chef and you could literally shoot videos on TikTok and always post yourself cooking and giving advice and showing people how you make stuff and you could blow up off that. Like restaurants would want to work with you and collaborate with you
Brands,
because
like,
maybe you're an influencer at that point. So you didn't necessarily have to go to the chef school to study
mm,
to be a chef, but you sort of find your way through what you love. It's the things that
yeah.
you love that you could do for free. That's your passion, like
And it's with social media right now, it's just allowed people to push their stuff, but
Yeah.
now you can work with brands. Like you can work with Nivea, you can work with Volvo, you can work with. And back in the days,
Yeah.
for you it was massive celebrities. Like you can only work with big celebrities, but now the life has changed in such a way that brands and companies they want to work with young people who are doing things, young people who've got followers, young people, not necessarily social media linked, but people who are just doing their
Real life
stuff, like real
influencer.
real life influencer, like you pushing your thing. Like it's no more just a thing of no, what I'm just you know.
And with that, I mean, we got to work with a brand like Absa. We don't have, I wouldn't say I'm like, or we are people with the most followers. You know, even on Instagram, I have like about 4,000 followers or so. And according to obviously social media standards, that's not a lot. But you could work with brands through just the real life influence and not about, don't limit it to, oh, how many followers do I have on social media? Don't really like, it's like, dude, what do you do? What value do you bring to the table? And brands are gonna want to work with you, you know.
Yeah,
So
being authentic also, like you can't just say to your mom or your dad you want to drop out of school because you want to go be a DJ because one of your homies is a DJ.
yeah,
You know, that's how sometimes people fail and they mess up. That just because the homie is a DJ, you don't have to necessarily go be a DJ. You know, if that guy's a photographer, you don't necessarily have to go be a photographer. You can do it through maybe accounting if it's your thing. But the point is, you can also have a young accounting company and you can build it from scratch. You know, why do you, it doesn't always have to be like go work for this person or go do this, go find the best job or this degree will give you the highest paying job. You know, it's just about if you decide I'm gonna be an accountant, push yourself to be the best accountant. And now you're pushing on social media. I'm just doing my books. I'm just doing this.
yeah,
People engage in the content. Life has changed now. The world is different. You can work with big brands just by being yourself. You just have to be authentic because sometimes people are doing things because the homie's doing it. Then
yeah.
they
Don't,
want to do what the homie's doing.
definitely don't do things because your friends are doing them. Don't be easily influenced by that. But with that being said, I'm not personally, or we are not saying education is bad. There's people who are like very successful off education. There's people who went to school, they've studied, they've dedicated themselves. Now that person's a chartered accountant or a lawyer, or you're working for this big corporate or whatever the case may be. So if education is your thing and you maybe want to really be like a lawyer or an accountant or whatever, like go for it. Obviously go full force when you do the university thing, when you go to school and whatever. Like you gotta put in the hours and the time to become that successful person. And you either gonna do it through like school and education, and you obviously make a lot of money. People are making money based off
Mm.
qualifications they have. Let's not lie
Yeah.
about that. And people who generally studied a long time
It's
are
just
making
about
money. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just about the world has changed now. That's not
Don't let it,
necessarily
yeah,
the
let me
only
tick a
option.
box.
Like
Yeah,
you can become one of the highest paid people, not necessarily even being the highest paid because what matters as long as you paid, you know what I
yeah.
mean? And you got money, you nice. But you can be somebody who earns a lot of money just through photography or through playing soccer.
Modeling. So
Dude, like
many.
how many people is Bafana missing now? People that could have made it to the squad and made it to the and changed the game for the
Yeah,
South African team. Like people who didn't follow through on go to soccer practice. But sometimes even it's
discipline.
people also like discipline. Like people in high school they got the opportunity to play maybe for a rugby team, he's playing the national team, or this one is running for this, or this one made it to the SA what. You always used to look up to those students, but you can make it through your own thing. So sometimes it's people who that mess up. Like
Mm,
instead of going to practice, you guys are going to go drink, and you know what I mean.
mm.
Time goes by, you don't do it anymore, and then it just becomes a so
And
South
play.
Africa is also there's some companies or whatever that are just missing institutions that are just missing people who could have been game changers for them. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, then they chose a different path, or they messed up
Or they were
that gift
persuaded
or
into
that
doing that.
opportunity, you know. And obviously, with things like lifestyle choices, you gotta also be able to see the type of friends that influence you. You know, like if, for example, when I think about it, let's say you're a lawyer or you want to be a lawyer, an attorney, and that requires you to study a lot. It requires you to study at night and whatnot. And
Those
you
sacrifices
become
in
friends
life.
with somebody who's like your best friend or whatever, close friends is, for example, like a DJ, somebody who has to go out a lot and they drink when they're out and they sleep late or whatever. So that sort of association as friends sometimes doesn't work because as people, we influence each other in a way that sometimes we don't see. That specific person could influence you a lot to go out, and not them necessarily trying to influence you, let's go or whatever, but just having that FOMO or that vibe, or like,
We don't practice. I'm
oh,
gonna
hey,
I don't
you
want
know,
to
I
be
don't
the
want to
man.
hear, or like, I'm going
Yeah.
to play where, and you get influenced into like going into those specific places and you didn't make the time to study. So sometimes the choices you make also, you have to see like, your type of schedule or the things that are demanded or required of you, do they match the things that you want to do or the people that you're around, you know?
Mm.
So, and also don't be entitled to family support. Like your mom, your brother, whoever, they're not entitled to support you because they're your family, and you can't feel like, no, I started a brand now, my family must support me. Like, don't have that thing. Like, you have to give people also reason to want to support you. I mean, how many people left school? We also, as a point where we, when we were done with school and pursued entrepreneurship full time, when you've made the choice that I'm not going to like necessarily pursue the school career for a long time, but you made the choice to be an entrepreneur and you have to like get
Yeah.
going, and you've made that specific choice. Okay, this is what I want to do and what I'm gonna dedicate my life to building this brand and this decision that I'm making.
And it's actually crazy because he finished go UJ, right?
Yeah.
And I dropped out of varsity, you know.
Yeah.
So we made it work, but we took two different we took
Parts, yeah.
two different paths, you know what I mean? And for me, it was just on some. Obviously, sometimes you just have to see what you love and all. But for me, it was okay. I'm dropping out of school, but I don't want the plan B. Like I want whatever I'm gonna do must be the only thing I'm doing. I gotta make it work because now I've left what is like security to go do something that I felt strongly about. And when you look back later in life, it's like, damn, I made a good decision for myself. You know, sometimes you make a decision like that, you disappoint your family, you disappoint your mom. Your mom has spent a lot of money and made a lot of sacrifices. Now you're just gonna drop out of school like that. It's like, ish, already at the same time, it's like, already, this is what I really want to do. Like, I get the whole, you know what I mean? So sometimes building that resistance with family, it can obviously strain relationships at times where you like, nah, I'm gonna do this, whether you guys like it or not. So, you know, sometimes you just gotta be like, ah,
Gotta
nah, I
do
gotta
it,
do it,
yeah.
bro. But if you commit and make a decision to do something, then you gotta see it through. You can't now. I dropped out of school now. I'm expecting my mom to handle my bills and everything because she's like, you drop out of school. You guys you don't wanna pursue you for you. You wanna pursue school. Okay, you guys are on your own, and this is what you guys wanna do. So do it on your own.
Yeah,
And
without
because I've carried you
financial
for all
support.
these years, also, you know. So it was a thing of, hey, lady, thanks.
Yeah.
You kind of given us there's no plan B.
And it wasn't easy, obviously.
Wasn't easy.
Like when you go to school and you are used to getting that allowance from your mom, and she always help you out financially where she needs to and where she can. To go into a completely different phase in your life where it's like, okay, there's no more income from mom.
There's no
No,
structure on
there's
something. This is
no,
what gets done on a daily
you don't live at home,
basis.
so there's no food at home that's always there. That thing that parents can provide for you, that sense of security and warmth, having things happening at home. So once you obviously commit to leaving and pursuing this thing, you might obviously upset your parents and whatnot, but obviously later in life they'll get to understand why they did it, and they'll get to see that, okay, this person really loves this thing, and that's when
Yeah.
they will support you.
You
That's
just
when
have to show them that you're serious. Because
yeah.
sometimes somebody's saying, I want to drop out of school, but okay, what are you gonna do?
Then you sit at home and you're a couch potato,
You
and
know,
it's like now you become a burden to your mom, where she
it's
goes to
like,
work and she comes back, you're there.
so if you're gonna
Yeah,
go
but
do
at
something, then
school
go
or
do
something,
it. You
yeah.
know, with us, it's like we dropped out, and we you also
You
because you
finished,
had
yeah.
option to go and yeah, you finished. He also had an option to go and
Finish.
extend.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you
I
know,
had an option to obviously go and extend and study your honors and masters and those things, but that wasn't for me. But I really think education is important, and I believe it is if you're doing or if you're studying the right things,
what you
like
love,
what
you
you
must do
love. I
what you
mean,
love.
if you, for example, you went to a fashion school, you probably would have finished
Mm.
school as opposed to okay, because it happens a lot, especially in black communities where somebody's done at school and they just sort of thrown into university
What are you gonna go study? You
to
don't
go
know.
study something that you don't even know, or don't even want, or don't even know. Whereas if people took time, or your parents really knew you like that, or you knew yourself and you really knew what you wanted, or you had that opportunity to go and study something that you're interested in. Okay, look, I don't want to go to school and study law or business or whatever. I really love fashion, so can I go study fashion? Obviously, depending on the type of family you're from, some families will be like, no, that doesn't have money. What about? Some families are very supportive. Shout out to
Mm.
parents who are also supportive
Or
when their
what do you wanna
children
do with
say,
my child?
yo, I
Okay,
want
I
to be
get
a
you.
chef, or I want to be this, and your parents are like, okay, cool, let's get the school and let's register. you're going to do that. So
or regular want a camera, they want to be a photographer, and then you dedicate like yo, I'm giving you my first like your first camera, and
let me
maybe
see.
I know one of my friends is a cameraman, so I'll just ask him to mentor you. Sometimes it's
Or even take you to a photography school.
yeah. Imagine how much money families can save, parents can save if we don't push everybody to university because it's a
Let's make
loans,
black
it's debt,
parents
it's
of
what
dead
people are going through,
unnecessarily.
and that person doesn't really want to be at that varsity.
And or does graduate but goes the next 10, 15 years unemployed.
That's
So
the reality.
that time your mom, people's parents took a loan to send you to school. You go and finish at school. You go and go 5, 6 years without
Employment.
getting any sort of employment. It becomes a burden because that those parents also like how some with families like you have some element of they think you're lazy or whatever, but it's like the opportunity is not there. Sometimes we look at black people or black kids or people our age and think, yeah, but you're lazy, whatever. Why are you guys sitting at home? You guys unemployed or whatever. But it's like some people don't have those specific opportunities that you have as a person or that you had.
Yeah.
So
But the world has changed.
the world has changed.
Now, as people also people have struggled. Now we're in a new phase of life. Like, okay,
Easier
you've got
to
technology, you've got things, it's easier to reach somebody. Hey, can I please come work? Can I come work for free? Can I come show you my skills? Can I come, so
or post your skills.
you can even create, people are creating like, just from home. South Africans are funny. Imagine if we could monetize our TikTok. So people at home shooting videos now. Brands are going to them. People are paying them. They want to work with them. They're asking them to advertise their products. So life has changed now. Now we have to think outside the box. Now we have to use what we have. Like we get what happened in the past. Now it's like, guys, this is our chance to go. You can't blame your parents. You can't blame your uncle. You can't blame the government. It's like this is the time where you have to create opportunities for yourself. Like do different things. Read books, guys. People don't just read to look like I'm reading. Sounding like a clever guy. You read so you can get information so that you can make better decisions. That's why you read. Like you don't just read to just look busy.
And like just put yourself out there to network with people and know people, get to speak to the relevant people in the right places. Like we need to move away from being shy as people. Like we need to go out there and actually speak to people and actually pitch who we are in our businesses or whatever, or actually ask for those specific opportunities. So yeah, guys, I hope that today's session was very informative.
Before you wrap it up, guys, please, things like Groove also, don't just use Groove to dance. Like, use Groove to network. Talk to that one person that now you can't approach him at his office, but now he's chilling there. You can talk to him. So put yourself out there. Don't always be shy. And in terms of family, also, you got to stand up for yourself. Don't be a pushover. Don't let them decide for you. But obviously, respectfully understand where they're coming from. But don't be a pushover. Do what you gotta do.
And also do it for your family. Those who get that support, from your family. Do it for them. Like work hard for them. Wake up early for them. Don't give up for them. So yeah.
Some people are given an opportunity or when are you the only one in the family who's going to university?
The whole
Please, like, do something so that everybody else can win. So sometimes if you're carrying that responsibility, like, acknowledge it and do what you gotta do. So yeah, episode 8. We are here. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please comment, please share. Please, guys, please show us love. So thank you for those who watch. Our podcast is really about spreading that positive message, talking about real life stuff, and there's a lot of podcasts that already talk about gossip and everything. So this one is going to be something that's life changing for those who love what they're doing.
Yeah. So guys, peace out. It's been good sharing this information. Yeah.
Episode 8. We are out of here.